Hey guys, we're slowly approaching August 2nd through the 7th, which is going to be when we go on our youth missions trip to Ocean City, Maryland, and do some ministry on the boardwalk. But over the next couple weeks, me and Pastor Erin, we got together with the leadership team, and we discussed how we could put you through basic mission boot camp, get you guys ready to go out and do these things. But before we can do that, we have to conquer one stronghold that we see, and that's obedience. Obedience is a key part in ministry. Without obedience, we can't get anywhere. I'm going to show you a clip here in a few seconds that depicts the perfect scenario of obedience. Let me set the stage for you. It's about a fireman who was sworn to uphold the safety of you and I. And when he was faced with an opportunity to do something and obey his boss, the fire chief, well, you'll see what happens.
An experienced firefighter was recently charged with grave neglect of duty. Prosecutors maintained that he had abandoned his responsibility when he failed to release rescue equipment. This resulted in the needless and tragic deaths of a family of 5. Eyewitnesses were sickened when they discovered that the reason the firefighter remained locked in the emergency vehicle was simply because he was testing a new high-tech CD player, which he maintained he had bought as a gift for the fire chief. The fire chief immediately distanced himself from the defendant, and he dishonorably discharged him from the department. In a prepared statement, the chief said, quote, "There are no words to describe such a betrayal of those he was sworn to protect." The lead prosecuting attorney argued that for more than 3 minutes after arriving on the scene, the firefighter wore earphones and listened to a CD while a family of 5 was screaming to be rescued from the 6th floor of a burning building. Horrified onlookers related that as flames licked her clothing, a mother cried out in terror and fell to her death while still clutching an infant in her arms. Other witnesses said that the father was clutching 2 terrified children as he was engulfed by the massive flames. This terrifying drama took place in full view of the firefighter as he remained seated in the vehicle, listening to the CD. The defense pleaded no contest, but added that the defendant went to great personal sacrifice to purchase the expensive gift for the chief, and hoped that the judge would take that into consideration as he passed sentence. What do you think is a fitting punishment for this serious crime? 2 years in prison? 20 years? A life sentence? Capital punishment? You be the judge. Please choose an answer, because we're going to tell you more about this story later in the program.
Now, just like you guys just seen, the firefighter who was more concerned about his CD player and testing it out and trying to make it up the ranks, maybe to possibly be chief, neglected his responsibility as a firefighter, was very disobedient to what his job had him to do. A lot of times we're more concerned about this and what our friends are telling us than being obedient to this. And I think that in order for us to be a success ministering to the lost, whether it be in Ocean City or whether it be here in Mercer County, the fact still remains that we have a responsibility and we have a job to do. But not only do we need to be obedient to our parents, our teachers, but we need to be obedient to the ones that God put in our paths to teach us, to guide us, to direct us. People like our pastors, our youth pastors, our children's pastors, our youth workers, These people are here to sow into your life. Yes, they might come across harsh sometimes. But you know what? We do it out of love. We do it because we care about you. We do it because maybe we made those mistakes. A lot of times people think that youth pastors in general just come down on teenagers because we don't want them to have fun. But you know what? You can. You can have fun.
I agree. And you know what? I was actually trying to look up. I had something in mind picked out to say earlier, but something got changed. And you know what? It kind of reminds me of the story of Jonah. If you guys remember the story of Jonah, he was called to go preach to Nineveh. Okay, and because he decided to not do that because he didn't think these people deserved to be saved. He cared about what man thought about him than what God thought about him. And because of that, he didn't like these people. He was like, you know what? Forget these people. I don't care if they go to hell. I'm not going to do it. And you know what? He went the other way. Well, we all know this story, and for those of you who don't, he ended up going on a ship the other way, and what happened was this huge storm came, he got thrown overboard, and a whale swallowed him. He was in that belly of the whale for 3 days. I mean, I can't imagine, living in something like that, in the crap and the nastiness, and it must have really smelled. Well, during those 3 days, he decided he was going to follow God, and he didn't really care what man thought about him. He just wanted to get the heck out of there. So finally, God made that whale spit him back out, and he turned and he went to Nineveh. Well, it kind of reminds me of you guys. You guys have so much potential. You don't realize how much potential you guys have. But when you choose to follow your flesh and you choose to not follow God, and you care more about what other people think about you, what's going to happen is you're going to get swallowed by a whale. Now, I don't physically mean a whale's going to jump out of the ocean and swallow you. What I mean is, things in life are going to happen to you, and you're going to get swallowed by it because you're not going to understand how God has provided you a way to get out of there. You're going to be overcome by your storms. People are going to throw you into the storms. Your own friends that you trust, that you thought, were so more important than God, they're going to throw you into that storm. They're going to throw you into the waves. They're not going to care. God truly cares. He provides a way out. Even though at the time it may not seem like a really great thing, because God provided that whale for Jonah, even though he didn't really think it was a great thing at the time. Imagine swimming in the water and seeing this big thing coming at you and eating you. He didn't think it was great at the time, but it saved his life. Right. He could have died in that storm. But instead, God provided a way out, gave him another chance, and said, look, you clean up your act, you get your life straight, I'll save your life, and you go and you do what I said. And he's like, okay, I will, God. And
that's why we're saying to you guys that it's so important, because we love you and we care about you. And even some of you guys that are going to be watching this on YouTube, I want you to think really long and hard about maybe some of the things that you've done at youth group. Maybe you're one of the ones sitting there writing notes on pieces of paper. Maybe you're sitting there and you're texting your friends because you feel like you're bored. What we have to say, and your youth pastors out there, one day, that's going to save your life and keep you from being consumed by that big fish. So you guys got to sit there and think about it. Again, this is Real to Real Ministries. This is Pastor Steve and Pastor Erin, trying to teach you guys how to be real with real teens, real problems, real solutions. We'll see you next time.
See ya.